AWS user group. I work with the team, Adeline Makoha, Timothy Gitonga, and Samuel. I don't know if he's here, but those are the people we work with. And for today, we're really excited to have the people who are part of the AWS Impact Hackathon at Strathmore. I think I've seen Tuwe a few times, Kevin on LinkedIn doing a lot of good stuff. I think I've seen a bit of Cecilia also, if I'm not wrong. But I'm really excited to see what they created during the hackathon. Remember like a hackathon is like, I think it's a very short time. I don't know if it was like for 2 days or 3 days, and you're actually able to implement something on AWS. That's really exciting to see. And I think house cleaning, if you have any questions, I think you can put them on the chat, or you can also wait to the very end, depending on how they want to do it. And also we'll share the links on how you can join the AWS user group, I think on the chat as we go on. All right, awesome. So I'll ask Kevin to start, or Adeline, I don't know if you want to queue them up so that we can be able to start. But welcome, guys. Go.
Is Adeline coming through, or
No, it's fine. I think you can go on. It's fine.
Okay. Thank you so much for the invite, Mark and the team from the AWS Kenya user group, Tony and Adeline. So as we are Team Shakes, we participated in the AWS Impact Plus Hackathon that happened at Strathmore last month, and we finished second runners up. Most definitely would like to share our experiences, our retrospective on how the hackathon went, and what actually really propelled us to that position. Honestly, we could say that when you're starting out the hackathon, we in our wildest dream, we would have thought that we would have gotten a podium position, because when you're starting out, actually, by the time the hackathon was approaching, the whole team, like for example, at Team Shakes, the first of all, when you're registering, we thought it would go like 5 of us, but by the time we were getting to the hackathon itself, I think it was only 2 of us who actually could go actually to Strathmore. So what happened is we went there and we had Anthony. I don't know whether he's around, but I think he'll join us. And we met others. We met like Cecilia at Strathmore. We met Moses at Strathmore. Also met Maureen at Strathmore. So we actually now formed a group of 5, 2 ladies and 3 gents. So during the hackathon itself, we were actually supposed to choose a track. And on the first day, coincidentally, I had something at work. I couldn't make it to Strathmore. And we had to share, for example, the idea that we had 2 ideas. We had one idea from Moses and another idea from myself. So we had to make a choice. Moses' idea was equally good. It was all about, I think he's going to mention about it. It's all about like how can we use satellite to check on deforestation, to sort the issue of climate change. And I also had this idea of e-waste management. How can we be able to deal with the issue of e-waste, especially when in the country, in Kenya itself, we are receiving a lot of refurbished computers, refurbished phones, refurbished, all these things. How are we managing it? How are we disposing of these devices once we don't need them anymore? So all these are equally good ideas. So our first challenge was actually to choose the idea we're going to go with, considering the short timeline, as Mark has said. So we went with the e-waste one, because considering actually, although the idea from Moses already had a prototype around it, and it was actually very good. So we went with the e-waste. So we decided we're going to create an MVP for an e-waste management platform that is going to bring the different stakeholders from government, from the recyclers, and even those users like me and you would want to dispose of these devices. So that is how we ended up with the idea. When the first day was, it was actually not as easy as possible, because considering I was not physically at Strathmore on the first day, the rest of the team was trying to get to wrap their head around the whole idea. So it was pretty tricky. We had a mentor, we had Adeline as our mentor there. and you're trying to just explain how the whole idea is going to go as per the format of the hackathon. So we pitched the idea. The judges accepted the idea and says, okay, you can now go on and now try to build the idea on AWS infrastructure, create an MVP, get the services that you need, and just build an MVP that you can be able to pitch on to the next day. So by the time it was getting to the evening, nobody had thought, okay, how are we going to really do this? How are we going to use EC2? Are we going to go serverless? What exactly? And not everyone in the team was that savvy or proficient or even conscious about the AWS infrastructure. You can even say like some of the team members was looking at the AWS management console for the very first time during the hackathon. So, and we actually had to ensure that we take advantage, we leverage each and everyone's strengths. So as you get to know about the team, you're going to see going to understand the strength of each and every team member during the hackathon. We had Moses, who was into preparing the back end and everything. We had Maureen dealing with the front end. We had Cecilia dealing with the pitch and the presentation. And we had also Anthony, who was also part of the pitch and the presentation, as well as everything. And I was there actually trying to ensure that we have everything in place, all things coordinating together. So that is how we did it. And on the second day, we did the initial pitch. We had two pitches. The first pitch was to the judges, a 5-minute pitch, explain what your whole idea is and demo your MVP. So by the time it was getting to around 12, because you are supposed to submit, you need to submit the link to your MVP as well as the link to your slides. By that, I think it was around 11 or 12 in noon. Actually, at that point in time, the slide deck was not over. The demo was actually not working. You are like actually onto the neck of some of the solutions architect from AWS who had come through for the hackathon. So you're actually asking them what is wrong and everything. And just told us, no, let us do this. Let us deal with the security groups. Let's allow everything. All these security groups, the inbound rules might be having an issue. Let's just open them up. And because these are MVPs, you're not dealing it in a production environment. So funny thing, as you're asking and you're getting to understand the whole concept, the person who was actually helping us through so that you can get the MVP working was one of the panelists, was one of the judges on the first. And actually, we didn't know that. So I'm sure he was delighted to see that the issue that we had, by the time you were demoing, it was already sorted. And since he left it like, you go deal with it, I've already given you the idea, you just go deal with it. So that was a plus for us. And then again, Cecilia came through. I'm sure she's going to come through and talk about the whole idea and show you how we pitched it. So a funny thing, we got into the top 6. So we are told the top 6 are going to pitch again now in front of the whole panel, all the other teams, just to now get the top 3 from the top 6. So that was also another challenge, because I think nobody knew that we're going to also pitch again. But then also during that time, the demo gods did their thing. We were trying to open it. The backend was not connecting with the front end. So we had to actually really sort it out. By the time we actually did something like, by the time it was being sorted, we were giving a bit of a story about it. Then obviously now they came through. We were able to finally do the demo and confirm that whatever we were posting on the front end was going back to the DB on RDS. And in that one instance, and together with a brilliant pitch from Cecilia, as well as all the work done by Moses and Maureen, we were able to emerge second runners up. So that is basically the retro on how the hackathon went. So I think, even without further ado, obviously, I think if people would want to, you can ask questions that maybe you can have it at the tail end. I'll now invite Cecilia to take us through to the next part of what we did with regards to the Impact Plus Hackathon and any other things you would want to add. Over to you, Cecilia.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, everyone, for attending the session. I'm going to be sharing my screen with you and take you through the presentation that we did on that day and our idea and how we broke it down into a very nice slide presentation. Can everyone see it? Can you see it?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
You can
So
put it on,
without further ado, yeah?
you can put it on slideshow mode, maybe. Better.
Okay, okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Although it wasn't very easy, we still managed to go through it. Okay. So at first, we recognized the real world problem, which is e-waste connecting to those who collect. We have e-waste producers and e-waste collectors. So our solution was to work as a link between these two people. The problem statement was as follows. As you can see, this is a real world problem affecting millions of people and over 50 million metric tons. That is a rough estimate, actually, because there are 7 billion people in the world. How many people are using electronics right now? And how many have recycled those electronic devices that have gone to waste? All right. Moving on, this is a skeleton of the solution, of the actual solution that we came up with. There's a web form for the users that is going to collect data on the user details, the waste producer, that is the location in which they are in, their name, and the type of waste that they are disposing, which will be collected into an AWS relational database and displayed on a web page. The web page is for the waste collectors to see who is disposing waste and where they are and their availability. All right, this is a market trend for how electronic waste increases over the years. As you can see, this is not a small increase per year. From 2020, 2021, that was not much of an increase because we had already seemed like we had settled on techno, whatever, until other phones came about. Thank you. This is a financial case example. Here, we were told that there was a kind of a problem here, considering that we were operating on a 60-40 basis. When I say 60-40 basis, I mean that whoever is disposing of the waste, for example, small kabambe, that has gone to waste, if I'm the one disposing of it and I want to sell it to a waste collector, and I want to sell it for 100 shillings, because now it has gone to waste and there's no need of throwing it for no price. So in our 60-40 basis, we were going to obtain 40% of that 100 shillings, and the waste producer was going to obtain 60%. 40% was going to us and also the waste collectors later. So 40% is a lot of percentage to $7 million people in Nairobi, and it will continue growing by 3.3% annually. So this is just a rough estimate of one county. So you can imagine across the world, across the globe, how much profit this solution will have gathered. So I have been saying connecting waste producers and waste collectors. A waste producer is like you there with your waste phone, computer, anything that is electronic. And the waste collectors are guys like WEEE that focus on electronic waste and recycle it for much better use. EcoPost, Takataka Solution, and Mr. Green Africa. So basically, yeah, we are supposed to act as the link between you and these people. Right. We were going to give our ask, although this is a hackathon, so the ask technically was going to be the prize that was going to be given there. Although if you are pitching this to an investor, our ask would be 5,000 USD, most of which will have gone to maintenance of the projects and EC2 instances, paying for AWS and such services that are provided for a fee. Yeah, thank you. Basically, yeah, that is a rough go through of what our presentation was. So I'm going to hand over to Moses to show you the actual working version of what we came up with in those two days, actually, roughly 1 day, actually, because the next day we were supposed to pitch. The first day we were supposed to gather, come up with the solution and create it within a span of hours. You know, it was rough. I can't lie. But we managed it. We were not there going for a goal of obtaining the prize money or becoming the first or second. We were going there to present our solution, work on our skills, and improve on ourselves. And yeah, we managed to get it, guys. Yeah, so thank you. Moses, if you kindly take over.
So I'm going to walk you through the solution we built on the hackathon. So on the user interface side of things, we had two interfaces. We had a web form where waste producers would key in their details, and a web page where waste consumers would access these listings and reach out to the waste producers to buy the e-waste. So due to our time constraints, we're not able to do the web page, but able to do the web form and host it as a static website on a S3 instance. So let me share my screen and show you. So can you see my screen?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so here's the user interface where waste producers will key in their details. Let's do a username. Let's say Mark and the phone number 07444. The location and the type of waste which they are interested in disposing. And also we had that when I created database on RDS instance, and we did a backend that communicates with the database and does some business logic. We're considering using AWS Amplify because the hackathon was about AWS, but due to our skill sets, we decided to use the solutions we're more comfortable with. So we just did a backend and deployed it to an EC2 instance, as you can see here. Yeah, so let me try to submit this, and it should show up on the web page. Okay, so let us go to the web page. You do not really have an interface for this. It's just as you can see, the new record has been added here. Yeah, so in summary, the AWS solutions we used were the S3, RDS, and EC2 instances. So thank you. I think that is all for me.
Awesome. Yes, so that is basically what we did in a nutshell. We were actually during the week when we actually got the invite, we were asking ourselves with Moses, do we make the solution like we get everything, like we do a good bootstrapped user interface and everything. Then I told him, okay, let's do it in the way let's just give the raw of how it was during the hackathon, what we came up with. And you could see, like, when you're looking at the interface, it's not like one of the best of interface, that's an MVP. If you look at even the interaction, we had not created an admin dashboard where you could be able to see and analyze the e-waste coming from this county and everything. We did not really, we just created what we could with our skill sets. And it was tough because you could go there and you could see teams have created, okay, they were just improving things that they've done maybe in previous hackathons. The teams would actually, the kind of solutions you'd see in the screens would make you want to give up, because at the end of it all, you're there, it's 2 days, you haven't done anything, like you're zero. You're wondering, okay, the team has to do this, who can do this, who can do that. So when we were in that hackathon, we understood the importance of working as a team. These days, even people don't call it a team, they call it a squad. It also needed some trust, because when the front end was being worked by Maureen, nobody was actually monitoring whether Maureen is doing the right thing. When Moses was dealing with the back end, there was no time to actually check whether he's actually doing it the right way. He's actually doing it as he learns or something of that sort. So same case, even as you also, even the slide deck, when Cecilia was preparing the slide deck, you actually saw the slide deck like 1 minute before we were supposed to submit it. So it needed some level of trust within the team. And also the other thing is, it also required communication, like, where are you with this? And then communicate, I'm already finishing up on the slide deck, where are you with this, where are you doing that? And a bit of coordination. We also had this guy from Safaricom called Andrew Mecca, who actually really gave us like a push, like he motivated us and even told us, like, what you're doing is, it's all about creating value. And also Celos there, and said it's very important to know how to build, to break things down and build them again. And I think that is the philosophy usually evangelizes with regards to hackathons. And that is what I would actually advise to anyone who actually goes into a hackathon. Don't go out with a hackathon with an already pre-made solution that you just want to the reason why it's around, it's called a hackathon, it's 2 days. You have to get into that pressure, go there blank, try to come up with something from scratch, let feel like you're banging your head on the table. That is how you can actually that's how you actually learn, rather than going there with a solution, then you're sitting back acting all busy and you're not doing anything while others are sorting it out. Because it is, if you did not do all that, I'm sure you wouldn't have gotten to the point. Because in terms of the idea of e-waste, we obviously know they were the first thing to pitch. With regards to the MVP, obviously there are better MVPs of all the 20 or plus teams that were there during the Impact Plus Hackathon. But it's the fact that whatever was the takeaway for the hackathon, we actually took them away with regards to working as a team. And you can see, even as of now, we are actually looking at other hackathons and trying to see how we can be able to take advantage and take part and even grow our skill sets with regards to AWS. So thank you so much. I think with that we can take it to Mark and the rest of the team, maybe for Q&A or anything. So basically that's Team Shakes and how we did it in the Impact Plus Hackathon.
Wow, great. That's really cool. I think being that maybe most of you did not know how to use AWS and you actually leverage it in a way, I think that's really powerful, especially if you guys even understood how to use like an RDS instance, how it communicates from an EC2 to an RDS. That an RDS can take time before you know if it's actually pinging to it. So that's really cool. So good job with that. From what I've taken, number one, I think you guys trusted your teammates as such. So maybe on that, or Cecilia, whoever else can also answer, or Kevin. So I think you guys were already friends before, or how are you guys kind of doing it in terms of creating that trust? Is it that you guys were friends before, then now you were able to do it? And also delegation. You can also just talk about delegation. At what point were you guys now comfortable? Like, okay, Cecilia can do this, so she can really do it well. Because at the first time, it's like, okay, I think I can do this. Everybody's a bit in a rush. So how was that process like? So trust and delegation, at least in the first day.
Cecilia, I'll throw it to you. You can answer that.
Thank you, Kevin. So during the formation of teams on the AWS, what was it? The launch day with Celo. We formed the teams, got into WhatsApp groups. So for me, I was already in that group. I had already registered my name under Team Shakes, but now we hadn't met officially or talked enough in the group. So when we came the first day, you know, have you ever been to a group where no one is talking, no one is looking at the other, you're just nothing is going on? So Team Shakes was not like that. So once you come, you're welcome and you feel comfortable around these people. So for me, I had already pitched in other competitions, not necessarily hackathons. Actually, this was my first hackathon. So I had already pitched in other competitions that I was good at it already. So what I did was to just create the slides and promise them that this was going to work out. So at first, we went and pitched for those 5 minutes to the judges, that small pitches before the actual thing. So we pitched and they were surprised. So that was something that was motivational, and everyone had come up with their solutions. So building the trust, if you would go around everyone working on their solution, and everyone is asking you how you're doing and how you're going about your work, the work assigned to you, it was very welcoming and trustful. It was like they know you know what you're doing, although they don't, but they trust you in what you're doing. So if you're given trust by somebody else, so that actually sparks the interest and trust in for you to give to them. So basically, yeah, so the welcoming part of meeting for the first time with the new people you've never seen before. So yeah, that was, the welcoming was what sparked the trust in the whole team. That is what I think.
Okay, okay, someone has a question or? Okay, cool. No, actually, Cecilia, I still have a question for you. So, because I saw, or one of the team members, I saw you guys had the problem statement, the background, problem statement, solution. Just walk us through like what kind of structure you used to create those slides, because it was very, it answered all the questions that any pitch competition or any hackathon would do. It was very simple, but how did you guys arrive at problem, solution, background, financial model, ask, and stuff like that? You can kind of go through that. Yeah.
Okay, so in these other competitions, I had already gathered the information I needed on what is normally required. That is obviously beginning with the problem statement, the real world problem that is going on, and then followed by the solution. So by the experience I've gained from creating slides in other competitions, I have competed for myself, not with a team. So that is actually basically what got me through. And I have also done a short pitching course. And what is normally required on pitching and slides and creating the slides. So I use Google Slides and a guide, a small guide that I normally have. I don't know if I could share it with you, but it will be long.
You can just give a short overview. I think you can do it like in 2-3 minutes, if you don't mind. I think that would be good. Yeah.
All right. So I normally have a small guide on what is normally required. I call them pitch ingredients.
Okay.
So if you're taking this down, it will be great for you in other competitions or even hackathons. So at first, you begin with the problem statement, the solution you're trying to solve. Then number 2, your solution, what you've come up with to solve that real world problem. Number 3, the market, what who you are targeting, in short, in the world. For example, for us, e-waste, we are targeting the waste producers and the waste collectors. So all those are our target market. Number 4, the products and traction. Whatever your product is and how you're going to implement it, that is. Number 5, the competition in the real world. Of course, as Kevin has said, we are not the first to pitch on e-waste and we will not be the last. So what is there in the real world and what is unique to your project. Number 6, your financials, how you will gain from it, and in the future or right now, what you've already done with it. Number 7, why your team, why your project, why you, in short, why they should choose you, why an investor will invest in you. Number 8, your ask now, what you're asking from the investor or from the competition, yeah, in terms of finances or actually incubation. Yeah, so basically that's it. I have more, but that is a lot. That is a lot to be shared in this short period of time. So thank you.
Great. I think one thing also I saw that was really good about what they had is they had numbers, like that very specific, like hardcore data. It was never just there's a problem and that was it. So I think that's one thing that I really liked. You wanted to add something, Cecilia? Or
oh yeah. Actually, those numbers, I sat down with my calculator to calculate those real life numbers. I was not just guessing and writing numbers with points and nothing. I was doing actual calculation with that 60-40 basis and 100 units per unit waste, 100 shillings per unit waste. So that was actual calculation. It is not hard. They look like big numbers, big calculations, but it's not that hard. Yeah.
Great. Awesome. I think, is it Moses? I think Moses, you're doing the backend, yeah? If from like what I saw what you guys created, I saw you use an EC2 instance and RDS instance, probably a VPC, subnet and stuff like that. Would you just take us through that whole process? Like, for instance, I guess for the S3 bucket, it was just HTML, CSS. How was it able to take the JSON data? Because I think it was REST, if I'm not wrong. Now it was collected by RDS instance, then it was actually taken to that. Do you mind just taking us to the stack that you guys used? If you don't mind, please.
Okay, so to begin, we set up a database on the RDS instance and also created an EC2 instance on our console. Then there's an option to connect a compute or EC2 instance or Elastic Beanstalk or whichever compute to a database. So we went with that, and then we built a backend. I built a backend in Java and configured it to connect with the RDS instance, then deployed it to the EC2 instance. Yeah, and the backend communicates with the front end with REST endpoints.
It's Java. The backend is Java.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Hey, respect. If you're doing Java, that's really cool. And I saw like you're using, is it what 8080? I think for your.
Yes.
Okay, so I think Kevin mentioned this, but the most problematic thing was the security groups. Would you just kind of touch on that? Like, what was the experience and how you guys solved it?
Okay, so how we solved the security groups issue in the EC2 instance. We really didn't have an issue with the RDS instance when it comes to security groups, because when we set it up, we set it up to connect to the EC2 internally. But on the EC2 instance, we basically on the inbound routes, we set it to allow traffic from anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, so you put from anywhere 00/0, right? So that any IP could ping it, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. Anything you learned, like, sorry.
I understand that that's what I did in the real world, but in the context of doing an MVP, we just needed something that worked.
Yeah, actually, I really appreciate like the backend. You didn't do like a fancy dashboard. It was just the data is being collected. The API and the JSON essentially is being collected. And how are you able to test it? We're either using Postman, or are you just still using like how are you trying to like test if data is coming in and out? We're using Postman or any other testing?
I also use Postman before deploying on our local environment.
Okay, great. Okay, one last question. And actually this is like for all of you guys. Did you guys sleep for the 2 days, or most of you did not sleep? I don't know how many hours of sleep you guys had. You can start with Moses, then the Kevo and the rest. Do you guys sleep, or there was no sleep during the
Okay,
time?
so basically because we met physically for the first time, and Kevin was not there with us in the first day. we weren't able to do anything on your first day. Actually, built a solution the last day of the hackathon. This was basically a day.
Okay. So first day came, maybe brainstormed, then the next day is when you guys actually really worked on it, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So you slept the 8 hours. Like the
Yeah.
okay, you guys are chilled out.
Maybe I can say, okay, actually I got to Nairobi at around 7 p.m. That is when I met Anthony. The whole team was actually waiting for me for the whole day. I got into some transport hitches and everything, and I was just telling them I'm coming. Even the whole team was asking, where are you? Because we want to get to this thing of how can we now move from the idea to now deploying it on AWS, and how best can we do it? We are hearing this amplify, we are hearing this lambda, all these things are confusing us. How do we just do it in a way that we're not going to be bogged down by the technology and become unable to come up with an MVP? So when I got to Nairobi, I asked Anthony, like, what have you done? Like, okay, you just okay, you pitched, all that went well. The whole hackathon team agreed that we can go with the e-waste idea. Now, like, what have you done? And just told me, like, okay, Moses has said he's going to go do something. Maybe I don't know whether there is going to do anything. Maureen is supposed to do this. I don't know whether. So he was just telling me, I don't know. So it was almost a point of panic. I was wondering, like, okay, we are told like tomorrow by around 11 a.m. you must submit your MVP as well as your slide deck. So I told him, okay, let me try out something. So I ran through the immersion day. This is what we call the AWS immersion day thing. As I was trying to just see how best can we really do it, so that I can tell them, okay, I've run through the whole. Can we now just plug in our code into the already deployed whole thing about immersion day? Because that was what we were taught during the first virtual meeting of the hackathon. So by the time I was getting to almost the last step, it was around 2 a.m. I think something happened. It was not coming through to the last step. Then I just gave up on it and I told Anthony, let's just sleep. We'll meet tomorrow, and I'm sure something is going to really work out. And funny thing, Moses came around, I think 2 hours from to the hackathon, and actually I didn't notice it is Moses. I was being told, okay, I thought he was one of the DevOps engineers or the guys who are supposed to tell us what to do. So then I was told Moses is in our team. He's the one doing the back end. Then when I saw him and I saw how he understands things, I just relaxed and said, okay, we are on it. We are at it. And by the time you're talking to the AWS guys on how we can resolve some tiny issues, I just felt like this is the team now. This is the team, because so that is how it was. I think Cecilia, I don't know whether she slept with regards to the slide decks. I don't know.
I slept the 9 hours. But then ilibidi niamke mapema ndio I start working on the slides so vizuri, and then I also worked on them before we started pitching the next day. But it was not easy, although the sleep was good. It was not easy.
Great. That's awesome. I think you guys had trust in you guys, but I'm actually very surprised that you guys did know each other and you guys still put. That's very, like, I think your chemistry just happened, because in the first time everybody's like, I'll do this, then type situation. That's just also resilience. Because if the first day, if nothing happened the first day, I would have given up. I'd be like, okay, guys, it's okay, it's fine. We don't have to go on with this. So I think you guys' resilience was really good. And lastly, I don't know, maybe you can mention about the mentorship. How was the mentorship like? How did it help you guys also in terms of getting to being part of the top teams? And lastly, yeah, I think that.
Start out, maybe the other team members can also chime in on it. The first thing is mentorship was very key in helping us get through, especially understanding what the whole idea was about, because it is also the mentorship that created a form of accountability, because it was the mentor was asking, where are you with this? What have you done? then you actually at every, and even it was periodic, like impromptu, and telling you, okay, then says, okay, we're having these issues. Then she was the one who was connecting us to the right person to ask. Says, go check out this, ask him, or even call him. She actually could call the person who can help us, pull them off to the side, because sometimes they'll be having these networking discussions which you can't come through with your laptop and bump into between people and ask them, can you help me here? So mentorship was key. And also it was through the mentorship that we were able to understand that this thing is possible. We can be able to achieve this. And since each and every team was tied to a mentor, it gave some form of, this is the person you can look up to, and this is the person who obviously you don't want to let down. You don't want them to appear that they weren't doing any mentorship, and you wanted to make them proud, obviously. So that is how we do it. And actually, one of the things I was happy, because I actually didn't know how Cecilia can pitch. It's when we entered the room with the judges, the small room, and she started doing the presentation. I was about to go out and come back again and just rewind. They usually say rewind and come back again, selector or something. It was awesome, from the audibility to the numbers, the hardcore numbers and everything. I actually felt like it was almost about to get an imposter syndrome on it, but it was awesome. Actually, how she did it, and how Moses explained the demo and showed everything, it was awesome. And even Maureen, with regards to the front end, sometimes usually just say, we talk about how things can happen in the back end, but sometimes what people see is very important. And the whole team really did it within that one day. You could say it was like a day outside the galaxy or something of that sort. Actually, it was surreal. It was unbelievable, because we didn't have any expectations. We saw other teams, they were really waiting to get to know whether they're going to be number 1, 2, or 3. Because actually, I told the team, we are here to learn. Don't check other teams and wonder how it is. We even relax and said, okay, let's go get some snacks in the lunch cafeteria and come back and see how things are going to be. So thank you so much, because it's because of the whole team, as you said, Mark. It's the chemistry that happens the first time, that really hit the spark with regards to Team Shakes and the hackathon. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, wow, great. I don't know if everyone has a question. You can post them on the chat, or you can unmute and ask them. So anyone with a question? I have one last question here, but anyone? Okay. Hi, Mohammed. Okay. So I think as we try to wrap this up, how is it now? Like, you've done all these things. Cecilia has pitched. Moses has done this. Maureen, I've not seen Maureen here. Hi, Maureen. I don't know. We've not seen you here, but Maureen has done all these things. How was it? How did it feel once? I don't know how the announcements were made, but how did that feel? Like, when it was announced that, hey, Team Shakes is doing this, and is winning some prize money, and you guys were actually part of the top teams. How was that like for you guys? Yeah.
Cecilia?
So there was the first announcement for the top 6 teams. So we were just seated. We were not expecting anything, but then we are part of the top 6, as in top 3 in the first group, first session teams, and the other teams. So combined, we formed the part of the top 6. So after hearing that, then it became real. We were like, hey guys, hii mambo ni serious. Hii mambo ni serious. So you have to get serious before now pitching again. Now the heat now gathered up and became even more. So because we were about to pitch now for the real deal, we're now pitching for the prize money. That was serious. That was hii mambo ni serious. But anyway, we pushed through and everyone came through. We went for lunch, ate, and reduced the stress. And finally, came the last presentation and we emerged second runners up. That was a really great feeling. That was my first hackathon, and being part of the winners team, that was really a really good feeling. And it was very encouraging for me, because at first I was not even supposed to come to that hackathon in the first place. I was feeling discouraged that day. Don't feel like getting out of bed. And now second runners up is here. It was really nice and very encouraging for me to continue competing in these hackathons and new competitions that come up, whether the challenge is too much or too little. Anyway, I will just go. Whether there's prize money or not, I'll just go for the purpose of networking and gaining more experience. Yeah, thank you.
Great. I see we have 7 minutes. I have 2 last questions, I think, for all of you now. So first question is, now that you guys have made it, top KCSE students, then you're giving people advice like, oh, unajua soma kwa bidii and stuff like that. What would you tell guys, especially who've not tried hackathons before, who've not done it? Like, what would you tell them? Like, is it try your luck, just go for it, or what would you tell other people in terms of that? And lastly, I think, let's just do that question. What would you tell guys?
Okay, I think I can start, then the rest of the team can get onto it. The first thing is, if you look at a poster and you see it's anything hackathon, anything, I would advise you go for if you see a hackathon and you see a webinar, and they are happening at the same time, choose the hackathon over the webinar. Why? Because it's like watching people play, let's say PlayStation, FIFA, and you playing it. There's a difference. There's a very big difference. So at the point in time, and be ready for criticism, because at some point you'll be told, no, what you've done here, for example, what Cecilia was saying on the financials, there's something that you are told to work on. It cannot work like this in terms of the numbers. So get a thick skin and get onto it. There's a time when I would actually look at a hackathon and I say, no, I put myself on the spotlight. Then somebody says, no, you cannot, your thing is not good enough. Go back and look at what went wrong. Or even being ranked. There's nothing that scares people like being ranked and being told, okay, you're not part of this elite kind of team or something of that sort. So I would advise anyone who's interested in getting into hackathons is get into there with what Cecilia said, with the eagerness to learn, with the eagerness to network, with the eagerness to be mentored, and also with the openness to go through, to get into a team. You're not communicating maybe, or things are not really working out, and you're under this pressure of time. All that builds you up, because that is how the real world is. The simple concepts or the fundamental concepts you learn in class are nothing compared to the real life scenarios of working with people with different personalities, getting this constructive criticism, and also even to a point where you are about to be announced and you don't have to get into the pressure of it. Just let it easy and it can go, because if we had become too serious about it, we would not have won it. If it become too complacent about it, again, we would not have won it. So it again should always have a balance between overconfidence as well as underconfidence. That's my take on it. Maybe the other team, Cecilia and Moses, and I don't know if it's so Maureen. Yeah, can go on.
Maureen hasn't spoken for the whole session. So
Maureen,
if you could please.
Yes, Maureen is in the call. I was not sure that it's Maureen. Maureen, if it's you, can say.
Hi, I'm sorry, I had some network issues. So what I'll tell people who want to get into hackathons, please go for it. The experience that people get there is invaluable. I was also afraid of hackathons. This was my very first one, but actually the team that I got in during the training session didn't show up for the hackathon. So I'd like to thank Cecilia and Anthony for welcoming me to their team. They made me feel comfortable. And so I didn't want to let them down. Whatever portion I was given, I really worked on it. And, I learned how to work in a team, that being my first time working in a team. So I learned how to work in a team, because even in a real life job, I'll also work in a team. And the experience was just, it was invaluable. The lessons, the experience, the networking, everything was just good. I wasn't even hoping to win, but I just went there for the experience and the networking. The winning was a plus for me. So people should go for the hackathons. Just try your luck. Even if you don't win, you'll gain experience, knowledge that you didn't have before. So yes.
I think Moses and Cecilia, I can say.
Let me just go first. Hackathons, okay. What I'm going to tell you is, as Marina said, go for it. I'm a student of IT. I do IT, and this was my first hackathon. You can imagine. That doesn't mean I've never seen a link to apply for hackathon or anything like that. I was just lazy. And this being the first hackathon, no other link that has come past me, Peter. I've just been applying, going for it, whether it's online or not. When was it? On Sunday. Last week, we had the Oracle Bootcamp. Who was there? Who was there? If you are there, you just can shout out in the chat. So yeah, go for it. The experience is really nice. And because at the end of the day, you're not going to lose anything from pitching and going to a event where you can gain so much knowledge-wise and network-wise. So there is nothing you can lose from going to these competitions. So, and at the end of the day, you are accountable for your actions. So what are you going to ask yourself at the end of the day? If that link passed you, and then you're seeing in the group that you joined, you had the initiative of going, but you didn't go. You're seeing in the group, the top were this and this and this with the idea, this and this and this. It just passed you, and that could have been you. But you chose to do something else that was not as benefiting to you as that was. So as much as studies is very important, also give some time to this outside opportunities that come to you. Yeah, so don't go with the mindset of gaining something from it, of gaining something in money-wise from it. Just go to learn and improve yourself. So yeah.
Okay, so my advice to innovators that are interested in participating in hackathons is to try and build a solution before the actual hackathon. Do not be like us, so we had to build everything in a day. Just build a general solution for whatever problems you are interested in solving and adapt it to your use case on the spot to save on time. Yeah, I think that's very important.
Thank you. I see you already past time by a minute. Please fill in the form. If you've attended this, I guess, session. I think Adeline has just set it on the group. So please fill it in. And also you can switch on your video. We can take like one screenshot selfie. I don't know, something like that, screenshot selfie or something like that. I don't know if Tony or Adeline has something else to talk about, but I think that's what we have for today. Congratulations guys for winning. I'm really excited for you guys. I think it's a really inspiring story. So yes, Adeline, is there any other thing?
Hi, Mark.
Yes.
Okay, let me go first. So,
okay, proceed.
Okay, thank you guys for joining our meeting. And 2022 has been a long year, and we thank all of you for making it and creating time for joining the meetings and the virtual and also the physical one. So this meeting will wrap up our year, and December, I understand most of you guys will be traveling all the way to Shags, so we won't be having a meeting, and we'll resume in January. So my key takeaway for the hackathon stuff, because I also met at the team, is when you have that team and you want to solve a solution, make sure that your idea adherence to the theme that the guys have provided, and also the impact. How relevant is it to impact the social and the community as large, and the feasibility, how well the product has been developed, the clarity and the simplicity. Remember, this is just an MVP. Like, you can create a login page, a sign up, and the nav bar, everything, and the back end. So how simple is it? How user friendly is it? How effective have you integrated using the APIs and the technology? And also the sustainability part, you should put that into consideration. Technology, is the technology that you are using easy to understand and adaptable for continuous improvement in future? The design, the logic design, and easy to comprehend and use, as well as presentation, the real pitching. You should have a pitch master in your team, and also a business analyst, a solutions architect, and a developer in your team. Yes, so that is it for the hackathon part. And the guys forgot to mention that they got an internship at Stanbic, and they're doing it part-time. I remember in my time, I really struggled to get an attachment, but for them, the hackathon, it has provided them an opportunity. Like, you're studying, you're still in your second year, but still you're working at Stanbic. And when you put that in your profile, it is a big plus. Yes, so that's from me, and back to you, Mark.
Yeah, Tony.
Okay, for me, I would say that I've enjoyed the presentation, and the key thing, I would say that led to success of Kevin, Cecilia, Maureen was teamwork. Of course, when you are a team player, you find sometimes you cannot know if you are a team player, but that showed that you are team players. And when you are a team player, you find that you are able to earn trust in your team very quickly, because the team is able to understand quickly your strengths and weaknesses, and it helps a lot. So also another thing, I would say, is that when you have an idea, or when you see these hackathons, don't fear to participate. Personally, I have never participated in any hackathon when I was in campus, and the thing was that self-doubt, in the sense that you have ideas, but you are like, what if my idea is very does not make sense? Is the worst idea. But again, you have to tell yourself, do I have anything to lose? No. In fact, you have a lot to gain, in the sense that you create, you're able to network with a lot of people and also learn things in the process. So I think this was a very nice thing, and also it very insightful to everyone. And yeah, thank you guys, and congratulations for coming victorious. Yeah.
Great. So if you guys don't mind, you can switch on your videos. Then we can take one screenshot stroke selfie. Then we can call it a meeting, I guess. I guess as we do that also, I don't know why you guys decided Team Shakes. Is there a reason why you guys did Team Shakes? Like, why the name?
That's a crazy one, because even at during the hackathon, we are being called shakers. You are shaking the floor or something. But basically, it means that anything that needs to change, for you to change the status quo, you need to shake things up, and make things bubble up from the down flow. So that is basically what we want. Any kind of impact, you need to shake. For example, for me to make, for Tony, you can see he's swinging kind of shaking.
Great. Any more people who want to switch on the videos, if you don't mind? I think we're 26 people here. I think definitely we can get people here. Hi, hello, Mohammed, Naomi.
Hey guys, long time.
It's been a while, yeah. Okay, I guess we can work with this today. We can say Team Shakes, I think, because Team Shakes, they have money now, they've won stuff that you need. We actually forgot to tell them watume salamu, like to their parents and and stuff like that, because they really did. Okay, cool. So you can unmute also and just say Team Shakes, then we can just call it a day, yeah? So in 1, 2, 3, Team Shakes.
Team Shakes.
Team Shakes. Is it Tingiza Miti maybe? Because of Tingiza Miti. I suspect
Tingiza Muti.
Yeah, but congratulations, guys. Maze. This has been really good. You can switch off your videos now. This has been a lot of fun. Hopefully next day it will be bigger, better. Nice to see you guys. I think most of you guys. Kweni na siku njema. You can leave at your own pleasure. Yeah. Thank you very much. I think I've taken screenshots. Hey, I hope I have taken. I was talking and I don't know that. Oh, I have taken. Hey, I have taken. So, kweni na siku njema.
Bye.
See you at reInvent version.
Bye.
Yeah, hey, see you at reInvent, yeah.